Welcome back to another edition of our Sherwood Ford, the Giant offseason countdown, where we're taking a look at the 10 storylines I'm watching the closest heading into next season for the Edmonton Oilers. So far, we've looked at players in the bottom six who could potentially pop off next year. We've talked about Connor Brown at number 8 on my list. It's the other top 6 support pieces. Listen, we know Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are always going to produce for this Oilers team. But what about those other guys who see a ton of minutes with them? Last year, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins had an unbelievable career season, hitting the 100-point mark. Zach Hyman had north of 90 points. And even though Evander Kane was injured, when he was in the lineup, he was scoring at a 30-plus goal pace. They all had really good years when they were in the lineup. But in the playoffs, that production totally fell off a cliff. That trio combined for just 7 goals, with only 4 of them coming off the power play. Not enough production. So who's going to come through next season? Well, I think our expectations may have to be turned down just a little bit here. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins likely won't hit triple digits again, but I think he can be an 80-plus point guy considering the role he plays on that wildly productive Oilers power play. Zach Hyman is the net front guy. I think he can be around 75 to 80 points as well. If Evander Kane stays healthy, that's where the Oilers could make up that gap in production. If he can play all 82 games, he should score north of 30 goals next season. I still like all 3 of these guys. I think they're going to have great seasons, but one area where I think the Oilers are going to need more from them is at 5-on-5. The power play production is awesome. It counts on the scoreboard just as much as the other goals, but the Oilers will be a much more dangerous team if they can get Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins starting to drive offense a little bit better at even strength. That's what I'm watching for next season from those two. Again, McDavid and Draisaitl, when you're playing with them, you'll get your offensive chances. Those two will always find a way to produce goals simply by being on the ice and being themselves. But can the support pieces in the top 6 next year give the Oilers something close to what they gave them in the regular season and shake off the lack of production they had during the postseason? Edmonton needs these guys to be productive for all 82 games. And as we saw in the playoffs, the Oilers need them to come through when the moments are the biggest. What will the support pieces in the top 6 look like next season? And can the Oilers have good follow-ups for a couple of career years from Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins? That is number 8 on my Sherwood Ford Giant offseason countdown. Storylines I'm watching heading into next season for the Edmonton Oilers.